All right, so this is a tutorial for Brother James Eyre, The Lord's My Shepherd. And I'm going to start off just by showing some of the chords that we're going to be doing. Okay, so first of all, I have put in fret markings for each of the chords. If you're not familiar with how fret markings work, those are just telling you 0, 0, 0, 3. That means the first strings 4, 3, 2 have 0, and then string number 1, which is the one closest to the ground, has the 3rd fret. And I'm going to be talking about how to finger these as well. So let me go ahead and get myself up there as well. So for this first one, 0, 0, 0, 3, we'd put our 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the 1st string. And that's our C chord, right? And then for our second one, 0, 0, 1, 0, our F add 9 chord, we have our 1st finger on the 1st fret of the 2nd string. And then our next new chord would be the C major 7, and that's 0, 0, 0, 2. So we'd have our 2nd finger on the 2nd fret of the 1st string. And then our next new chord, if you go skip down to the bottom line, we have the A minor 2, 0, 0, 0. We're putting our 2nd finger on the 2nd fret of the 4th string. And then an unusual chord you'll probably never see anywhere else is the C major 7 suspended 4th chord. Okay, now that sounds like a mouthful, but it's really easy to do. You just make that F add 9 chord, 1st finger, 1st fret on the 2nd string, and then you add your 2nd finger, 2nd fret on the 1st string. So it's sort of like C major 7 plus F add 9, right? And we get this very jingly sounding chord that resolves really nicely to C. So if we were going to sing that, it would be quiet waters by. And in context, you can hear how this jangly chord sounds really good in that spot. And so we don't use that chord very often. In fact, I don't recall ever using it before. But it works really well here, so we're using it. And then the second verse is the same as the first. Okay, so let me get myself off there. And you can see everything that's going on there. In the third verse, I'm creating this video mainly for my ukulele youth and my 3-chord choir. And they will be singing this in conjunction with some other groups. So this third verse is has no chords. So it's just going to be sung with some of the other instruments they're going to be playing. But as a side note, you can play this with the exact same chords as the first 2 verses, and you would be just fine. Okay, same notes, so same chords are going to work. And then we sing and strum the 4th verse, my table thou hast furnished, in presence of my foes. And then we change keys. So down there, measure 59, 60, 61, 62, we have a key change to the key of F. So we're going out of the key of C, and we're going to have some new chords here. So we're going to start off with an F chord, but this is going to be an alternate F chord. Let me get me up there again. Okay, so you make a regular F chord by putting your 1st finger on the 1st fret of the 2nd string, 2nd finger on the 2nd fret of the 4th string, and 4th finger or pinky on the 3rd fret of the 1st string. Okay, this is an alternate version of F that really works well with this don't lift a finger set of chords that I was introduced to by James Hill quite a long time ago in an article he wrote. And so we got this alternate F chord, and like I said, it's just an F chord with your pinky added to it on the 3rd fret. So it's like combining F and C together. And we leave our pinky there, and we leave our 1st finger there, and then we're going to put our 2nd finger on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string and our 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the 4th string. That's going to give us our B flat add 9 chord. Nice sparkly chord. So you're going to want to get really used to switching back and forth between F and the B flat add 9. Now for those that are in my 3-chord choir, you can skip this verse if you want and just sing it, or you can go ahead and learn this new key, right? Alternately, if you're just doing this at home as a solo thing, you could actually just stay in the same key we were in for the other verses and not switch keys. But it's always nice to have a modulation on the last verse. It's a little bit exciting for the audience and exciting for us to get to sing in a new key after singing 4 verses all in the same key. Okay, so we got our F chord, our B flat add 9, and then our next new chord is the D minor 7. You see that in the middle of the second line there. 2, 2, 1, 3. So we're going to leave those first 2 fingers there again, and we're going to put our second finger on the second fret of the 4th string, just like we would for an A minor. And then we're going to put our third finger on the second fret of the 3rd string, and that's going to give us our D minor 7. We only have 2 of those, but they're important because they add a different dimension and give us some variety. So let me just sing that little phrase where it leads into that. We say, my dwelling place shall be, and in thy house forevermore, my dwelling place shall be. Now for the C chord, we just lift our fingers off. We already know how to do a C chord, so we just leave our pinky there. Usually we do the C with the 3rd finger, but it's already there with the pinky, so we're going to leave the pinky there, and then we're back into the F chord, and then we do the D minor 7, the B flat add 9, the F, the C, the F, and we're done. And so that's an overview of the chords. Okay, this is a fantastic chord set to learn, especially if you're kind of annoyed at regular barred B flat, which is a really difficult chord for beginners, okay? But I think this is actually easier to play, and it's easier to make the transition between F and B flat, which are 2 chords that are pretty much necessary if you're going to play in the key of F. Makes that transition so much quicker. And if somebody like James Hill has been doing this, you know, who's been playing since he was in 4th grade, and is now teaching people all over the world, then if it's good enough for him, it's good enough for me. It's probably good enough for you too. So learn it. It's really useful. So we're going to go back to the beginning of the song. And I am, for the most part, going to do a down, down, up, down, down, up. Okay? Now, this is a little bit hard to do at beginning, so it's just fine if you just want to go down, 2, 3, down, 2, 3. Just all thumb strums, and that's just fine. No one's going to fault you for that. Okay? Let me sing the first phrase both ways so you can get a feel for what they're like. The Lord's my shepherd, I'll not want. He makes me down to lie. Right? Now, if you do it with the thumb strums, it's going to sound like this. The Lord's my shepherd, I'll not want. He makes me down to lie. So you can hear that's just fine. It doesn't provide the same rhythmic forward motion that the down, down, up, down, down, up, down does, but it still works, and if you're a real beginner, I would definitely recommend doing the thumb strums instead and just keeping the beat, right? Okay, as always, there are 3 areas of focus are first, singing, okay? You always want your singing to be strong because that's what the audience really cares about. And then you want all your chords to land in the right place, that's number 2. And then third, the frosting, right, on the cake is to add fancy strumming. Okay, and so make sure that you always prioritize in that order. Okay, back to the music. 1, 2. The Lord's my shepherd, I'll not want. He makes me down to lie. In pastures green He leadeth me, the quiet waters by. He leadeth me, the quiet waters by. My soul He doth restore again, and me to walk doth make. Within the paths of righteousness, seen for His own name's of righteousness, e'en for his own name's sake. Yea, though I walk through death's dark vale, yet will I fear no ill. For thou art with me, and thy rod and staff me comfort still. For thou art with me, and thy rod and staff me comfort still. 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 1. My table thou hast furnished in presence of my foes. My head thou dost with oil anoint, and my cup overflows. My head with oil thou dost anoint, and my cup overflows. 3, 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 1. Goodness and mercy all my days shall surely follow me, and in my house forevermore thy dwelling place shall be, and in my house forevermore my dwelling place shall be, and in my house forevermore my dwelling place shall be.